Sir, can we start now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for the delay. We'll be now starting. So, good evening to everyone present here. I, Isha Chudasama,
And I, Tanvi Pansare,
on the behalf of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Maharashtra State Branch Students Forum, welcome you all to the Entrepreneurship webinar.
Before we get started, kindly switch off your camera and mute your microphone and mobile phones to avoid any distractions. If you have any questions during the session, please type them in the chat box. Your queries will be answered at the end of it. We are also streaming this event on YouTube live and have a lot of attendees joining us.
The Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Maharashtra State Branch Students Forum, one of the chief segments of the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, has been the go-to platform for pharmacy students in the state of Maharashtra for decenniums. Under the auspices of this student-run organization, various budding pharmacists have united to harmonize their energies for exploring the boundless avenues of the pharmaceutical sphere. All the diverse facets of the pharmaceutical arena, be it academia, industry, community and hospital pharmacy, management and public health, are emphasized by the conglomerate.
Entrepreneurship is the ability and readiness to develop, organize, and run a business enterprise along with any of its uncertainties in order to make a profit. The most prominent example of entrepreneurship is the starting of new businesses. In economics, entrepreneurship is connected with land, labor, natural resources, and capital which can generate a profit. The entrepreneurial vision is defined by discovery and risk-taking and is an indispensable part of a nation's capacity to succeed in an ever-changing and more competitive global marketplace. To know more about entrepreneurship, we are honored to have Mr. Arjun Deshpande, Mr. Abhay Arolkar, and Mr. Karthik Kapoor.
Mr. Arjun Deshpande has completed high school from DAV Public School Thane in 2018 and then completed 12th from Commerce Stream in 2020. From a very young age, he was observing the new world of business and especially the pharma industry very closely. As a result of the same, he has developed a keen interest to think something out of the box for the change in the pharma industry. He is honored with various titles such as India's Youngest Entrepreneur, Student Entrepreneur of the Year 2019, Dynamic Entrepreneur of the Year 2020, and many more. Now, I would request Mr. Anand Shedge, Vice President and Mentor of IPMSBSF, to felicitate Mr. Arjun Deshpande.
Arjun, please accept your virtual certificate and virtual bouquet.
Thank you very much for having me here at the Indian Pharmaceutical Association Maharashtra branch. It's a really pleasure to connect with all the budding entrepreneurs over here and from all the students from the pharmaceutical field. So thank you for the appreciation.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anand sir. Thank you, Arjun sir.
Mr. Abhay Arolkar is a partner at AV Arolkar Institute and Entrepreneurship Development. He has completed his Bachelor's of Commerce in Accounting and Finance from St. Xavier's Boys Academy. Now, I would request Dr. Anand Shedke, Vice President IPMSB and Mentor of IPMSBSF, to felicitate Mr. Abhay Arolkar.
Hello, sir. Please accept our coconut appreciation.
Thank
and
you.
virtual bouquet with fragrance.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abhay sir and Anand sir.
Mr. Karthik Kapoor is Production Head at Addison Pharmaceuticals. He has completed his M.Pharm from Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Karnataka. He is an approved manufacturing chemist in tablet and capsules, beta-lactam and non-beta-lactam, syrups, suspensions and beta-lactam dry powders. He is heading the Formulation and Development F&D team in Addison Pharma has developed over 35 plus products in just 2 years. Now, I would request Dr. Anand Shedge sir, Vice President and Mentor of IPMSBSF, to felicitate Mr. Karthik Kapoor.
Karthik, please accept our coconut appreciation and virtual bouquet. Thank you very much for joining this afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand sir. Thank you, Karthik sir.
Uh, I would now request India's one of youngest entrepreneurs, Mr. Arjun Deshpande, to carry forward with the session. Will you be sharing the screen, sir?
Sorry,
Will you be sharing the screen, your screen?
no, I won't be sharing the screen. I will
Okay.
directly start with the.
Okay.
Okay. Hello everyone at the Indian Pharmaceutical Association. It's really great to connect with you all budding entrepreneurs, as I mentioned. Today's topic is entrepreneurship development, and as we are going further into the Indian economy, entrepreneurship is new normal, what we can say, and entrepreneurship is a need of an hour. As I personally see many youngsters coming up with different kind of ideas to do something innovative and out of the box for the country and for the masses. So becoming a successful entrepreneur is a dream for many people, but it will remain a dream of a life if you do not take the initiative or have a solid plan to execute. So as I always mention, for an entrepreneurship journey, you should have an idea with you, but with an idea you should execute that idea into reality. So if you find any of many youngsters or senior people as well, if you talk with them, they will definitely tell you that I have thought to start a business. And if you tell them, ask them, so why not you have started, so they will be giving you thousands of excuses that because of this kind of thing I have not started, or because of that kind of thing I have not started. But main is to convert your idea into reality and to convert your idea into execution. So execution is one of the challenging parts. So as I always mentioned, to go one step ahead, it's really challenging. If you tackle that, so the venture will be really one of the greatest venture for the masses. And entrepreneurship is all about to create a burning problem for the people. So I connect with many pharmaceutical students where I found figure out many important factors. There are many problems in the pharma industry that we as a youth of the country we can solve. So at generic Aadhaar, similarly we are scaling in 150 plus cities today. We have created direct indirect 5,000 plus employments in just 2 years of time. So we should think about bringing innovative ideas to create employment opportunities and to uplift the growth and development for the country. So entrepreneurship have become a great factor in present world, as more and more students are getting interested in understanding the core of it. So that kind of thing I would like to say. So at generic Aadhaar also, I came up with the idea of generic Aadhaar when I see the real problem in the industry that medicines are not affordable to the masses. So as we all know, India is one of the biggest manufacturing hub for entire world of for pharma industry. Most of the export are being done by India alone to rest of the world. So all the developed countries are demanding all the generic products from India. It may be US or Japan or Europe. So if you in the recent pandemic situation, every country was demanding hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, and all the stuff. So these are all the generic names. So as we all are here, pharmacy students, we know that what is the difference between generic and branded. So all the components are same, but in India, the generic products are being marketed and branded as something different. And the 10 rupees cost is been 10 rupees manufacturing cost is been at the time of reaching out to the end consumer, it is becoming 500, 600, or maybe more than that. So that is the basic marketing gimmick by some of the companies in India what was running. So I figure out that masses were not able to, 60% of the people in India were not able to afford the medicines due to the unnecessary high price. So I figured out how I can reach out to the consumers, how I can directly procure the medicines from the manufacturers and give to the end consumer. I figure out second important factor that the small medical stores in India, there are 10 lakh plus medical stores existing. So if you find the mom and pop stores in our near to our house, they're facing huge competition from big medical malls and online pharmacies today. So they're not able to compete with them and they're not able to earn good profit margin. So I converted them, we rebranded the stores and we aggregated the stores, and now we are reaching out to the end consumer via that. So for entrepreneurship, first is an idea how much big problem you want to solve. So in my case, I was addressing a big problem that every household. So I always mention medicines are not the luxurious expense. It is a basic necessity of every individual, and every individual should get that. So via that key means a key to start an impactful venture is to find the problem first and then to execute that. So life saving medicines in India, every means in hypertension, diabetic, gastro, cardiac, each and every segment today at Chandikadar we are focusing and we are expanding, and via our franchises we are reaching out to the end consumer. So that kind of solution, we as a youth of the country, we should focus, as when we are saying we have to make our Indian economy as 5 trillion and 10 trillion. So small idea get that into reality. When I picked up means this opportunity, the response was really very amazing. So at the initial level, when we start any venture, there won't be a big people supporting. There won't be big funds who will be supporting as an young entrepreneur or something like that. But when we will continuously prove ourselves and we will go with our vision, definitely good people will be with you to support the venture. Same like me, I was for 1 year I was doing the generic Aadhaar, expanding it in many places. I was organizing various health camps, providing the medicines directly from the manufacturer, like a B2B2C venture. So after that, this all from my TEDx platform, this all went to Honorable Ratan Tata sir, and he was so interested into the venture. He called me for a meeting a day, and he told me that Arjun, that what you're doing, it's really amazing. And he tried to get all the stuff from me, how I'm doing, how I'm procuring the things, and how I'm distributing to the direct consumer. He told me if this venture success, that can change the entire pharma industry for the betterment of common man. So that wordings for 17 years, guy was amazing that time to me. So he on May 2020 he joined hands with me and we started about expanding more. He joined as me with me as a mentor, as an investor into the company, and today we are expanding across India. So important factor, you should at the starting of the venture you should not focus or depend on some big people to come on board or to support you. You should start first step as your own. So today, I also am supporting many startups, but I am supporting the startups. I'm investing into different startups after seeing an idea if they are executing that idea on ground. So you should first start an small idea. You should first see what is the result coming from your first 100 consumers or first 100 customers. On that basis, you should get on the next level. And when we say next level, that will be definitely challenging level for you. And if you cross that level, so definitely things will change. So always as an entrepreneur you should think to create number of jobs. So I always mention, be a job creator, not a job seeker. I am not only providing a backbone to small retailers, but with that we are also creating employments from them. So from our one franchisees, one entrepreneurs has been developed, and via that around 5 to 6 employment has been developed in urban cities. It may be 3 tier cities. So what impact you want to do, that we have to figure out. Don't means as just don't think that I want to start a business. If you want to start a business, figure out a big problem what the masses want and solve that burning problem out of that. So initial ideas to solve a problem, analyze the opportunity. Means when I see say opportunity will be definitely in different scales. Opportunity will be in different industries. So you should figure out that, and you should have a solid plan to execute your idea into reality. So create awareness about your venture, from where you can scale your business more. So as I will end up by saying that one company says design in California, made in China, we as a youth of the country would like to always say design in India, made in India, and sell across the world. So that kind of mindset every one of us should have, and we should continue further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arjun sir, for sharing your valuable insights with us. I now request Mr. Abhay Arolkar to enlighten us. And sir, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
I want to share I've got a PowerPoint. Just a minute, I'll just call my, technical guy to help me in the.
Okay, sir.
Just a minute, huh? Share. पेरू काढणे स्लाइड शो Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and my screen is also shared properly?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay.
Yes, full screen. You do it, sir. Full screen, sir. That is.
Yeah. Yeah, to begin with, entrepreneurship is very, very important. But, I would like to go to the Indian history and heritage also before I start on the entrepreneurship. Because we are having a glorious heritage, that basically India, as I said, is a land of seers. And we have provided the world Vedas, yoga, etc., invented zero. Now, Vedas, why I'm mentioning here, may not have direct connection with entrepreneurship as such, but basically, Vedas is giving us how one should lead one's life. And that is very important for an entrepreneur because when you go through the ingredients and what are the attributes that an entrepreneur should have, you will realize that even your lifestyle is very important. Moreover, Indian trade, had advanced and spread over all the known world. We were very, very developed. And in fact, as I told you, that even in this numerical we have invented zero. Another very glorious factor of our history and heritage is that India has never attacked any other country. It is the other countries who have, basically when you attack others, it shows you are fearful or you are, scared of or you are insecure. That is the reason why you would like to attack others. But basically here, we have not attacked anybody. And that shows how developed and how mature we were. Apart from that, we are having unity in diversity. You just see the diversity which is there. The diversity which is there is fantastic in India. And in spite of the diversity, there is unity, which is unique in the whole world. I think this is what our heritage, our history is there. And this is our, in our inner, you can say, our every small part of our body is having all these things because we are Indians. Now we go to the Indian education system. Unfortunately, the Indian education system, after the British have, conquered India or taken over the independence of India, they have changed the education system. And in regard to that, I would like to show you that in 1835, Lord Macaulay, in his speech, he has, in the British Parliament, has said something like this of the Indian education system. I have traveled across the length and breadth of India, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation. which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self esteem, their native self culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. And now you see what India was. And I think we should now try to bring bring India to the earlier glory that it was enjoying. And we should give up all this education system, which is really only creating clerks and not really creating entrepreneurs as such.
So sorry for interrupting, but are
Yeah.
you changing their slides because we can't see them changing?
Oh, no, now I'm changing it. Have you
Yeah, and
changed
also, sir, could you please put the your slides in the presentation mode?
it? Just a minute, just a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Because technically I am not very comfortable, so I'll just take the help of my partner. So it's not, they're not sharing. It is not shared.
Sir, you're sharing your screen. We just need you to put it in the full screen mode if that's possible.
8 minutes. This time my partner is doing it.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Now is it clear? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So the ills of the education system, I would like to now show that whatever the present education system is there, it is inherited from the British, as I told you, and it enables a student for job preparation. Generally, you will see the parent always saying, "Oh, you get this degree, that degree, and you will get a job in this company or that company." We are not really having the mindset to create entrepreneurs. And all this is very vital because unless our mindset changes, we will not be able to create entrepreneurs in India. That is what I'm trying to just bring to your. That's why little I've gone away from the topic and going on the history and the heritage of India. Another thing that I feel which is lacking in India is the history of valor of some of the Indian kings not highlighted in our history. And therefore, what happens is we do not have the what you say, to pursue higher goals. How we should go about that? Role models we don't have Indian role models, and that I think is very very important. And because of this, there is nationalism is not instilled. In fact, our nationalism is very poor according to me. Nationalism will be followed by the instinct to do something for the nation. How many of us really want to do something for the nation? That we have to ask the question to ourselves. There's no one answer to it. Doing good business is also a contribution toward building of a nation. And that I will show you in this also. Moreover, the present education encourages a rat race. How many percent you have got, how much percentage I have got, we only compare things. And I don't think we are really refining our students for facing life, for really achieving something in their life. So the question comes whether entrepreneurial skills, whether they are inborn or to be developed. For this question to be answered, I believe that let us go through one, what is the need for entrepreneurs? Who is an entrepreneur? What are the ingredients, attributes of an entrepreneur, and how we develop entrepreneurial skills? Once these four questions, then we'll know whether it's inborn or whether it is developed. As regards the contribution of entrepreneurs, I can give you the statistics that 50% of India's total manufactured exports is contributed by Indian entrepreneurs. And that too, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Similarly, 45% of India's industrial employment is generated by micro, small, and medium enterprises. And 95% of all industrial units in India are micro, small, and medium enterprises. So thus, just see that what is the contribution of entrepreneurs as such in the economy of India. Indian economy is definitely poised to become one of the leading empires. We have heard that from lot many sources, and we always feel but we have never really seen why and how. But the population, though of course it is rising, it was rising at a very high rate, but that population itself has been now a strength for India because for sales or for developing of economy, it can rely on its own population rather than going outside. Their government initiatives, if recent, Modi government, they have initiated certain schemes like Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India concept. Now, these things have definitely encouraged the entrepreneurs of India to start something on their own. And there are a lot of, government support in terms of providing funds, in terms of providing taxation reliefs, etc., to startups, and provisions of micro, small, and medium enterprises development act also helps to support such entrepreneurs. And remember one thing, they are protected really, really. I mean, you will be surprised as to the incentive schemes. In fact, the government has reserved some portion of their demand, that is, whatever the requirements, to be given only to small entrepreneurs. So that shows the support given by the government. Globalization or liberalization, because of that and the recent pandemic, you have seen that the world is shrinking. And no country can really remain isolated from the world. In fact, China is trying to do that, and they are being frowned upon. You should not be, a closed economy. It should be open economy. There's competitive scenario is there today because there is a lot of competition, and competition always generates the best in everybody. Because when there is competition, if you are the best, then you will tend to degenerate rather than develop yourself. Similarly, expanding territories versus all inclusive development is what is promoted, particularly by our Prime Minister. Of course, I am no vocal of any party or any Prime Minister as such, but basically the concept for nationalism, I think that is what is very, very important, and that any party or any person doing it, we will definitely, what you say, encourage that or felicitate that. Lot of unemployment is there. Even recent pandemic has given created lot of because if people could not go, then naturally they were asked to go home because they could not operate. There was not much demand. Demands fell down, and therefore there was lot of employment. Machines are replacing mundane manual work. Not only that, but there is also now artificial intelligence. So machines are really going to replace human beings to a large extent. Population is still rising at a enormous rate, and we are not, and that's the reason why what happens, whatever we are having infrastructure, that is getting depleted because of the population. We are not able to distribute that infrastructure amongst the population comfortably. Similarly, there are resultant terrorism and antisocial activities because when people are not employed properly, they will, move on to terrorism or antisocial activities. So that is very, very. There are recent technological developments which has shrunk the world again to a large extent. Lot of digital payment. It was once upon a time never heard. I mean, payments by uh, digital method by this vegetable vendors and small vendors, street vendors. Even they are now having this digital Google Pay and you know other methods are there whereby they are able to exchange money on digitally. Machines are replacing humans because of the technology development. There is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence also is another big topic. And artificial intelligence now is being questioned also whether it's really going to develop India or is going to spoil the human race. So that is also another factor which you have to consider. But nonetheless, artificial intelligence is definitely the fact of the present times, and we have to face it. There is computers and internet. Internet, today is such that without internet, I don't think we can ever even consider that we can live for a few hours also. That much is the state of dependence on computers and internet. Moreover, man is a social animal and he needs recognition. Always, even if in your school, whether you are anywhere else, and you do something good and there's a pat on your back, either by your parent or by your teacher, how good you feel. So, therefore, what we need is a recognition. Many a times you will say, oh, you need not pay me, but at least you should appreciate what I've done. So, that means man is a social animal who needs recognition. Of course, man is the most intelligent animal, and generally there is a desire to give orders. I always like to give orders to others, what others should do. Now, of course, I have deleted this on purpose because this particular desire should not be the base of your entrepreneurship skills. This could be there because it's an inherent requirement for a human nature, that you want to boss over the others. But that should not be the base of your developing your entrepreneurship skills. Now, what is entrepreneurship? As stated earlier in the very beginning, the master of the ceremony, she said that the entrepreneurship refers to the process of creating a new enterprise, bearing any of its risks, and with a view of earning profit. The Oxford Dictionary defines entrepreneur as a person who sets up a business or businesses taking on financial, actually I should use the word, and other risks in the hope of earning profit. Of course, basically financial risks. The person who creates a new enterprise and embraces every challenge for its development or operation is known as an entrepreneur. So now we know who is an entrepreneur. And having known that, what are the three basic elements? First of all, you want to start something new. You want to create something new. So you must be bold or have the courage to do it. If you don't have the courage or you are not bold enough to do it, then you will not be able to create something new. Not only the courage to do it, but you must have the ability of really having, hard work, strenuous endeavor to achieve that new thing that you have created. And also, of course, whatever the risk, you should be able to take it. So these are the three basic elements of the entrepreneurship skills. Now, the element of risk. Now, a risk is taken by a gambler also. So, entrepreneur is a man who takes risk, we have said. And a gambler also takes risk, but he is a gambler. That is, entrepreneur is a gambler who chooses a calculated and thought out game plan. So it is not a uncalculated random risk that an entrepreneur takes. And now this risk, how much is the quantum of risk that one should take? How much risk should one take? The entrepreneur should take. Now this reminds me of an ad of a ketchup. If you had seen, the Javed was there, Jaideep's son, and also that Pankaj Kapoor was there. And regarding the sweet and hot taste of a ketchup. And it said not too sweet, not too hot, just right. And I think that very ad has got a similarity for the risk that entrepreneur takes. It the risk should not be too high, it should not be too low, it should be just right. Now this there is no parameter to say that this is high or low or right. That has to be determined by each individual as and when, depending on how he encounters his situation. Now, another thing I would like to tell you is the entrepreneurship is generally gender neutral or age neutral. That means there is no restriction that only males can be good entrepreneurs. Even women entrepreneurs can do, and many a times female entrepreneurs have excelled in their field. I've given the examples of Indra Nooyi of PepsiCo, Vandana Luthra, Ritu Kumar in fashion industry, Vandana Luthra in, I think, fitness. So basically all these people have also developed their entrepreneurial skills and they have achieved something in their life. Similarly, even the entrepreneurship is age neutral. That it doesn't mean that you have to start only when you are at young age. So we have young entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, or you can even say that Bill Gates of Google, and one old ones also have come, like Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken, or even for that person, for that matter, uh, even McDonald's, was started by a person in his late age. So basically, again, as I told you, it's not when you can start. The day you start, that is the time it is all right, no problem. Now I will go through the 9 attributes or ingredients of an entrepreneur. What are the various attributes that one should have in order to be a good entrepreneur? The first one I feel is boldness or courage, which is also, as I told you earlier, it is the basic element of entrepreneurship. You ought to have the fire of ambition. And the fire of ambition in your belly should be there. It cannot be, put just because I tell a person, oh no, you must start a business. He will not be able to start unless he himself is having the courage. He is himself a bold person to come out and do something. There is always to be an urge to do something new, because then only you will be able to create something new. And like that of Elon Musk, Elon Musk, you must have, and you must read, all the autobiography of all these great people, how they have achieved over a period of time, how they have had boldness and courage. And sometimes you will really wonder the hardship that they've gone through. And you should not have any inhibitions to achieve the set goal. You must set a goal and you must ensure that you will achieve that goal. You must not have doubt, because if you are having doubts, then you will not be able to achieve that goal. If you are having doubt, how can others will have any confidence in your goal that you are going to achieve? The second is the passion, perseverance, and ambition. Of course, ambition I have told you earlier also, but basically here passion and perseverance should be there. The never give up attitude. What come, what may, I will definitely. There will be a lot of discouragement, as even Arjun Deshpande, he said that people will not encourage you. But you have to be so confident about your ideas that you will not give up. Similarly, we have got a very good story about passion and perseverance in Mahabharata, and that is that of Eklavya. Even the guru, the teacher, refused to teach him, and yet that person became one of the best archers, even better than Arjuna. And there is Dronacharya had to ask for the thumb in order to ensure that Eklavya does not surpass the success of Arjuna. Once you have the passion and perseverance, automatically enthusiasm will follow. Then you don't have to worry that you will get, there's no doubt about it. The third, attribute or the ingredient is strenuous endeavor and hard work. You should not leave any stone unturned to achieve the set goal. Slightest of disruption, slightest of negative, you should not give up. Oh, no, no, I cannot do this now. See, so many problems are there. I will not be able to. No, come what may, I will definitely do that particular thing. So that endeavor and that hard work should be definitely put. Here, I would like to warn you that you must be a workhorse, but not a workaholic. There are so many other things which I will tell you in the end how you should develop yourself. In that, you cannot be a workaholic. That means you should not only think of work. Everything, all factors have to be seen. And the fourth one is knowledge. And I tell you, there is no substitute for this. Today, knowledge basically is the real factor. If you see, there are even young people who are becoming successful entrepreneurs at some small age. Young age, they are. In fact, there are some advertisements which that white hat junior something is there. That advertisement is there, which shows how a young boy wants to become a big founder of something. So this is possible because of knowledge. And today, just because I am old doesn't mean I am a better entrepreneur. Even a small kid can become a good entrepreneur. So here, survival of the fittest in terms of knowledge, not in terms of any other strength, knowledge. And what is the prerequisite for that? You must always have an open mind and learning attitude. Many a times what we do is, oh, no, I can't do this or I can't do that. No, then you'll have to learn and do it, but you have to do it. So definitely you have to keep an open mind that you are able to do anything and also to learn anything that may be required to achieve your goal. The study, whatever you do in knowledge, it should be focused. Should not be, just a periphery nature. It should be totally focused. And you should have the attitude to acquire knowledge like a bear. You know what bear does before hibernation during winter? He eats maximum so that whatever he eats helps him during the time when he sleeps during the whole winter, when he will not be able to go for any, hunting or for his food. The next one is the creativity or the innovativeness. Idle mind, they say, is devil's workshop. But I don't know. I beg to differ to some extent. And I say that idle mind is a ground for creativity. Because only if you're idle, you will find some shortcuts. And that shortcut may be so creative, so innovative, that it will give you a new idea. Therefore, idle mind is a ground for creativity. So if you're idle for some time, but that idle mind should be used for positive purposes, for creation of new idea. Just you want to remain idle because it feels good. No, that will not be a good idle mind. Moreover, if some ideas have already come out, it doesn't mean that is the end of ideas. So there is no dearth of ideas. Anything, every time there are new ideas coming up and there is no stop for development. There is nowhere you can say, okay, now nothing, because whatever you see, when radios were invented, we thought that was the end. Electricity was invented, we thought it was the end. But every time there has been development in those fields. There is nothing that has stopped over there. And this, when there are no dearth of ideas or whatever, what it requires is an attitude to see beyond. If you don't see, there's no attitude. If you give up, then definitely you will not see. You must try and see, no, there's something better than this. I must try and find it, and you must be able to convert your problems into opportunities. Problems are there everywhere, but what you require to do is, and this will be given only if you are having a creative mind or an innovative mind. The sixth Navratna, the management skills. I tell you, they are the very, very important also. Skills in all areas of management, financial management, marketing management, production management. So, practically in every field, you must know how to manage well. And you must have the leadership qualities. And here, leadership qualities does not mean that you must have the quality to boss over others. Here, the leadership qualities is how you can be able to create a team, to work with a team, and then create the new idea and make it a reality. That is what is leadership quality. You must, when you're a leader, you have to act as a motivator and should like to work in team spirit. Not that I am the boss, I don't want to work, you all work for me. That attitude is not that of a leader. Number seven, Navaratna, is ability to face uncertainty. Life itself is a big ordeal in uncertainty. Every day, we are facing this. Tomorrow, what will happen? Does anybody know? Nobody knows. Not even the best of the, these astrologers or they will not be able to predict the future in sure. You know, even to that extent, Nostradamus, we have seen that he has made something. Even that he is not 100% correct. There may be some flaws over there also. So nobody can predict future surely or certainly. So life is, and that is why even in entrepreneurship also, that same thing is there. There are uncertainties. I'm starting this new idea, whether it will succeed or not, whether I will have the resources or not. How will I be able to manage the resources? So all these uncertainties are there, but you have to think ahead and plan for the future. It's not necessary that what you plan may happen. Then alternatives also should be there. But basically, you must think ahead. And the earth's uncertainty should be a source of opportunity. It cannot be, that to uncertain. Now this has happened. Now I have to give up. No, no giving up. In fact, the give up attitude has to die immediately if you want to become an entrepreneur. The uncertainty is a challenge or a curse, and this is how you look. I'll give you a very simple example. If you see, many students, they are forced to become CAs, doctors, engineers, or whatever. And when they face problems, they just curse their, fate and say, "Oh, because of my father, because of my mother, I have taken up this course and see the problems that I'm facing." But the same child, if he has selected that, no, I want to become a doctor, or I want to become a chartered accountant, or I want to become an engineer, and then he will face the same problems which he would have otherwise faced if it was told to him by the parent or a teacher. But then he says, no, no, this is a challenge for me. I have to overcome this problem. So this is merely how you look at it. So depending on that, you will consider it as a challenge or as a curse. Alertness, versatility, and flexibility. This is very, very, you can't be complacent. I mean, you can never be complacent in life at all, according to me. The moment you are complacent, you are going to be, punished by the Lord by Almighty. So you must always be alert and not hesitate to revise one's decision if a situation so demands. So if you feel that a particular situation, I had planned X, but now the situation is good for Y, immediately dump X and take up Y. So basically this alertness, this flexibility should be there. Otherwise you can never be a successful entrepreneur. An entrepreneur should not dither while taking decisions. If you just wonder what decision I should take, this way or that way, then you can never be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur has to be a good decision maker. The decision may be right or wrong. That only time will tell. Before you take a decision, you think 10 times, no problem. But once you should not run away from decision making. You must not, say that, okay, I cannot decide, or you have to decide. And moreover, you must be a good person, you must be a good tune as well as a good managing director. So, these are two extremes I've taken. In an organization, a pune is the menial task doer, and managing director is the top guy who will take decisions. But I tell you, both of them are equally important. And one person who is an entrepreneur, he should be able to be a good pune also and good managing director also. Maturity. This is something which many of us lack. We must be mature enough. This is the ninth attribute, and that is why I call this Navratnas, the nine attributes or nine ingredients of an entrepreneur. And this is the last but not the least. So maturity should be above personal likes and dislikes. When are you mature? Because then you will not be guided by your personal likes or dislikes. I don't like this. No, then you will not be able to take a proper decision. Second sign of a mature person is calmness. He should be very, very calm and no hasty decisions. I mean, as I told you earlier also, that you have to think 10 times before taking a decision. So no hasty decisions. And even in this maturity, there are four kinds of maturity. One is the physical maturity. That means your body, you should feed it well, should be healthy body. Healthy body is a abode for healthy mind. And this will give you mental maturity. And once you are having these two, to a large extent, emotional maturity also will come. So emotional maturity also is very important. These three maturities are very, very important for normal life. If you have got having some spiritual inclinations, then you must also have spiritual maturity. So basically, these four kinds of maturity one must think, and you must try to achieve the first three kinds of maturity. Now, how to develop entrepreneurship skills? One, you have to set a goal and plan. So, setting a goal is very important, and planning is also very important. You cannot just go and do things. I mean, I've got an idea, I can't go on straight away implementing it because I may make a lot of mistakes. So, you have to set a goal, you have to have a plan, and then go about doing that particular. Secondly, as I told you, healthy body is a word for healthy mind. So physical fitness is equally important for an entrepreneur. If you're not having that physical fitness, you will not be able to do things right, mentally or otherwise. That is the reason why you must. And moreover, you require to put in a lot of hard work, and hard work can be put only by a person who is physically fit. So that is very important. Choose a name or tagline which is simple and easy to remember because you have to market. So if a name is simple, then people can remember that. So you have to try and choose a name. I just give you an example of Wag Bakri Chai. Now, what is the uniqueness of this name? Wag and Bakri can never be together. Wag is the predator, and the Bakri is the target of that tiger. So they can never be. Now this is very easy to remember. So the tagline, Wag Bakri Chai. So basically what I'm trying to do, you have to choose a name or tagline which is simple, easy to remember, and catchy, I would say. A catchy name. Then you have to establish a pace of work. That is very, very important. I started my practice way back, 41 years back. And initially I started my practice from home because I could not afford. But one of my clients was my friend's father. He used to always tell me, you must have your own place of work, dedicated place of work. So you have to establish a place of work. Initially you can start from home also, no problem. But over a period of time, you have to ensure that your place of work and place of residence is slightly different. How you do it, of course, depends on the circumstances of each case, and you will be able to draw up a business plan or budget. This is very important. Setting a goal plan, as I told you earlier, but now here you have to, once you crystallize on a particular idea, then in that case, you will definitely have to prepare your business plan and budget. Because based on this business plan or budget, others will be able to see what you have in your mind. Even the mentors and the venture capitalists, they will be able to judge you based on your business plan or work. Even the bankers, for that matter. Improving your wardrobe. Now you will wonder what is that? Wardrobe is, of course, how you look. So your dress, you must be cleanly dressed. You must have, you should be able to impress the other, because when people meet you based on your appearance, they will judge you. I mean, though it is very simple to say that don't judge by the cover. Many a times you have seen some skits or but ultimately it is a fact that you have to ensure that you have to look presentable, you have to look good. I'm not saying you should be fashionable. Please don't misunderstand. Now, you must be a workhorse, I said. Now, here you must be a hog in developing a reading habit. You must read a lot because that is one source of knowledge. And whatever knowledge you have, it is less. So, you have to accumulate as much knowledge as possible. And I would like to now go to the next one. That is, one have to learn from one's own mistakes. Here, I would like to point out one world-known corporation by the name of 3M. And 3M, they had 2-3 policies. I'll just mention them. That one is that every 5 years, they will stop manufacturing the existing product line and they will start a new product line. That was one principle. Second principle regarding the employees was that if a person does not make a mistake, he was fired. Because their concept was like this, that if you do something, there are chances that you make a mistake. If you don't do anything, the chances of mistake will not be there at all. So therefore, you must make mistakes. And if mistakes are there, you must learn from it. You must correct from it, not give up. You see. Then, of course, being an entrepreneur, your ideas are there. You have to be able to promote yourself. If you don't promote yourself, how will you be able to sell yourself? So you must, and you should not be easily discouraged by any other people. Whatever they say, you should not be of a weak ear. We say there's a kachakan. No, you must have firm belief in your own plans, in your own goals, and not be discouraged. Here I found one, failure and success. What are the attributes of a failure and success? So I thought I'll just share with you. In a case of a failure, you will be having fear or you will be having anger, you will have inferiority or impatience, loneliness, uncertainty, resentment, or emptiness. All these factors will contribute to your failure. But for success, you need a sense of direction. You must understand oneself as well as others. You must have courage. You must have compassion. You must have enthusiasm, self-esteem, and self-confidence. Because then only you will be able to counter all these other factors which are contributing towards failure. This is also a graphical, how success is achieved. I will not go through this because this you will be having, but you have to work, improve yourself, focus, passion, push, or remember to push yourself and serve others and ideas and persist. So this basically you will be able to Dr. Sherige had requested me that you must have some note on startups, because being entrepreneurs nowadays, the new word that is very, and people are thinking startup is the main thing now. So I thought I'll just give a word on startups also. A startup is a temporary organization designed to search for a repeatable and scalable business model. So that means it is a temporary stage, a startup. You are having that basic, inherent, you can say, plan to scale up your business model. The hardest part of building a startup is not coming up with a new idea, because coming up with an idea, anybody can possibly do it. But to stay committed to your dream, when you are dead tired and when you have to tell your spouse or the near dear ones that you cannot go for a party because your work needs you more. So that much you must have everything else. You must, that focus should be there, and you must only think of that particular idea, how it can be converted into reality. The world over, every country and every government is encouraging startups. As I told you, that entrepreneurship, basically, they are the backbone of any economy, whether developed or developing or non-developed. So you have to, ensure that entrepreneurs are given the encouragement, because that is how the nation will be built, its economy will be built. Most likely, a startup or a small business starts from a mere idea, and with the founder's own friends or family, or money or bank loan possibly. Later, if the idea is successful, it is really, then it will start support from mentors, angel investors, venture capitalists, or you can go for IPO also, like very many have gone. With each funding, an investor receives a part of the company and becomes a co-owner in the startup. But then he will get strength. What he was owning a small thing, he will end up having a large thing, a part owner of a large cake. India is said to have the third largest startup ecosystem in the world after US and China. I will quote here Narendra Modi, because he has said something about startups, and I just want to bring it over here. The convergence of technology, integration across diverse fields, distributed architecture, and people willing to back an idea have opened a new world for enterprise, for entrepreneurs. I see startups, technology, and innovation as exciting and effective instruments for India's transformation and for creating jobs for the youth. So you can imagine how entrepreneurs are important. And you must try and see that you yourself are an entrepreneur. And successful startup will become a unicorn. Now, what is a unicorn? Normally, a unicorn is an elusive horse-like creature with a magical powers. It's a fictitious, fictional animal. But in business, a unicorn is a privately held startup company valued at over $1 billion. The term was first popularized in 2013 by venture capitalist Eileen Lee, choosing the mythical animal to represent the statistical rarity of such successful ventures. And now they have been also developing more, like there have been given the name of, so instead of 1 billion, if it is 10 billion, then it is called a decacorn. Or if it is more than 10 billion, then it is a super unicorn. So basically, these sort of terms have been now. Now, what I have done is I've taken up 5 examples of, I think I've exceeded much of my time, but I have done so because the earlier speaker had spoken lesser. So his timing, I just took it over. So I'll just end up now giving you a very brief idea about the recent startups. One is Byju's. It was launched in 2008. Founder is Baiju Ravindran Divya Gokulnath, having headquarters at Bangalore. Total funding was 819 million, and it became a unicorn in 2018 with an estimated valuation of 5 billion. So basically, I'm just giving you brief. Then there is Flipkart. This was started in 2007. You will see all these startups have become unicorns within a period of 4 to 5 years. So this was started in 2007, funding 7.3 billion. It became a unicorn in 2012 with an estimated valuation of 24 billion. Oyo, the hotel industry, hospitality industry, launched in 2013 by a very young person, Ritesh Agarwal. He was in college when he started this startup. Total funding was 1.7 billion. It became a unicorn in 2018 with an estimated valuation of 16 billion. Paytm, recently you have seen that there was a IPO over there. This was launched in 2010 with a funding of $2.5 billion. And it had become a unicorn in 2015 with an estimated valuation of 15 billion. Swiggy or Swiggy, whatever, I don't know how you pronounce it, but consumers services food tech startup. This was launched in 2014. And, in Bangalore, it was started with a funding of 1.27 billion, and it became a unicorn in 2018 with an estimated valuation of 3.3 billion. Now I give you, there are certain signs that your startup is no longer a startup. So you have started, you are buying other startups, then you no longer become a startup. When you become an investor, you're not, having your own idea, you're not developing your own idea. You're past taking high risk stage. So you are more conservative in taking risk. The 50, 100, 500 rule. Basically, this is like this, that if your, investment turnover, is 50 million, or employees are 100, or your net worth is 500 million US dollars, then if any of these limits are crossed, then you no longer remain a startup. Of course, here I've said 100, but later on I've written down below that even if you have more than 30 employees, then you are no longer a startup. Your brand speaks for itself, then you are no longer a startup. So today, your Oyo is a brand by itself. So it's no longer a startup. And if you pay your employees well, that means you are an established person. You are not a startup. So all these are signs that you are not a startup. With this, I end my discussion. And if there are any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you very much. Yes, Isha.
Yes, sir. We'll wait for a couple of minutes if anybody has questions. Is that okay, sir?
Yeah. Isha, I have also given my email ID. So if any people are having questions, they can even send it to me. I will reply to it.
Okay,
That is,
sir.
I'm just giving as an option.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
No one is asking question or what? Even though
Either they have understood everything or they have not understood anything. So I don't know what I should do.
Participants, I request you all to ask questions if you have any in the chat box.
Even though they can ask so directly also, we can unmute
Yeah,
and
you can
directly they
get
can
it.
ask.
Exam. That's what I'm saying. Many a times, people are having, students are having inhibitions. How will I ask the question? And if I ask the question, others may consider it as a stupid question. That is one of the stupidest thing to, assume. Students are students. They should ask even the stupidest question because they are students. That is how they will overcome their knowledge. This is what I feel. I don't know. I think let the speaker go. I'll be there for the next 45 minutes. So if the questions come even at the end of the session, I don't mind. I'll answer them.
I think some question is there. You just
Yeah, no problem.
So the question is, if we want to start our own business, so what is the correct procedure or time or qualification required?
There is nothing, set parameters are not there. When you can start, as I told you, age neutrality is there. That means you can start at any point of time. What business to do, that will depend on your set skills. I mean, skills that you are having, you are possessing. Because you should be able to deliver certain things. Then only you will be able to do that business, isn't it? So that is another second thing. And third is regarding resources. Time and again, people have said that an entrepreneur or a startup, he has to start with whatever resources are available with him. It is not necessary. You cannot say an entrepreneur or a startup, I will have so much, then only I will start. If you do that, then you will never become an entrepreneur. So you have to start with whatever things you are having. If necessary, you can go to your friends, your family, and raise the resources where that is possible. But you have to start with minimal resources as possible, not take heavy loans and all that.
I think there another question is there.
Yeah, so, sir, the next question is, someone has posted that what if we don't have enough money for starting the new business?
I would suggest, like if you're not having enough money, you must find ways and means how you can start the business. Because it's not something that you have to depend on anybody else. An entrepreneur has to think very, very creatively how he is going to raise the resources. And if you say that no, I cannot raise, you can never become a entrepreneur. So whatever that enough money is something which is it is to be in inverted commas. There is nothing like enough money. In any business, whatever amount you put in, it will be less. So please don't think that I will require this much money or that much money. Even you can start with 100 rupees or 200 rupees also, depending on what business you start and how you start. So basically, that is what I would suggest.
So the next question is this?
Hello. Yeah, one more thing I would like to point out to you that Infosys, a giant in tech industry, in IT industry, it was started with a capital of 7,000 rupees. So you can imagine, and today how they are, you know. So, though, and 7,000 at that point, but now also you can start even by, as I said, even as low as 100 rupees, 200, 500, whatever you can raise, you see how minimal you can start with. So that is, no money is enough. Yes. Any other questions? Sorry.
Yes, sir. There's one more question. Is this the right time to have a startup? If you have an idea, as government is providing many schemes, or should we wait for an idea to get more mature and think practically?
No. Yeah. Whether this is the right time to have startup, I don't know. I mean, it is not like this that every time there is the right time to start up. So there is not. Now the government is presently giving. That is an added advantage. But even if government is not giving, you should be able to do it. This is what I feel. You must not depend on anybody. An entrepreneur or a startup person, he should be so convinced about his own idea that it will succeed. So first he shows the, the, what you say, the um, fullness, or the, how that idea is practical. Once that is done, funds will flow in. Others will definitely help him. There will be mentors coming. In fact, as Arjun Deshpande, no, who's the speaker? Arjun Deshpande. He
Yes.
also
Yes.
said that Ratan Tata called him. He did not go to Ratan Tata. So if your ideas are really good, industrialists like Ratan Tata also may come to you and help you with the finances, with all the other infrastructure as may be required. So it is the right time. Any time is the right time.
Okay, so the next
How can
question.
we approach investors, or how to decide which investor? First, you cannot concentrate on investors. First, you have to concentrate on your idea, how it will succeed, how it will help others. Once that you start with one customer, two customers, three customers, once it expands, then you look for investors. Till then, no, you can't see the investors. And investors, I tell you, they are always on the lookout. So if you're really good, definitely investors will come to you. Don't worry about it.
So there's another question in the chat box. How can we enhance our USP in a market where the competition is high?
By improving your skill sets, I mean your skills, you have to improvise as much as is possible. You have to show your one-upmanship, without which nobody is going to bother about you. So you have to improve your skills.
So the next question is, as per your vision, how do you see the agri-tech industry?
As per my vision, how do you see see, basically, I am a little biased over here. Agriculture is the real industry, I will tell you, because human beings, we cannot do without food. Can we do? So agriculture industry is something which is there with the basic industry, according to me. So it will always have better prospects in future. So agri-tech industry also, I think, is having a very good future. And any industry for that matter, I will tell you, if the idea is new, if the idea is creative, if the idea is innovative, 101% it will be successful, whether it is agri-tech or any other industry.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Whether to, there's another question. Is it recommended to start a side business or go quit existing job for the same? Depends on your conviction and depends on your circumstances. I cannot give you a, open answer saying, no, no, you please leave your job and do that. No. How you will be able to manage and ensure that your idea, your business is made successful, that only you can decide. So whether to quit a job at an appropriate time, if it can finance you, if the business has increased to such an extent that you will be able to manage your expenses, then definitely you should quit your job and do the business. But otherwise, you should continue and try to do the business along with your job.
Thank you so much, Abhay, sir.
Yes. One more question I'm told is there. What steps or on what things I should focus on with great priority so that I can develop myself as a future entrepreneur. See, basically here I do not know your skill sets. I cannot tell you do this business because I am not a person who can tell, oh, you do this business and you will be successful. Please, that will entirely depend on you. Even a pharmacy students can develop. Like for example, one example that you are having is Arjun Deshpande. You are also having the next speaker who is going to talk to you. So these are practical examples of the pharmacy students who have developed something in business. They have become entrepreneurs. They have done their startups. So basically, it is not something I can tell you do this or that, you know. And you have to develop means first of all you have to have an idea. First, you have to think and try and identify yourself that what you can deliver to the people as such. And moment you can deliver things to people which is going to be useful to them, your idea has been crystallized. Then you start or working on how to put into practicality. Potential backlashes the entrepreneur has to face is basically he will have discouragement. Any failure will be looked down upon. So there are so many, psychological and financial and so many other backlashes he may be having. But as I told you, that you must have a never give up attitude. Whatever the backlash is, you must be able to definitely come out of it and overcome it. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhay sir, for sharing your knowledge about the concept of entrepreneurship. Your experience in the field of entrepreneurship will surely help our audience.
Thank you.
I now request Mr. Karthik Kapoor to address the gathering.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure amongst you. Let me start by wishing you all happy Lodi and Makar Sankranti.
Excuse me, sir,
You are on mute.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure amongst you. I wish you a happy Lodi and Makar Sankranti. I hope you don't mind the noises and shouts as people outside are enjoying the festive season. So let me start by saying that just give me. And Mr. Arulkar and Mr. Arjun Deshpande have made really great points in the webinar today. And personally, I would like to thank Mr. Abhay sir. The points he has made regarding our education system, our history, the stats he has given, and the most important, the 9 attributes and navratnas of an entrepreneur. Those are commendable. And secondly, Mr. Arjun's vision towards generic medicines is tremendous, and we support him by heart. He is playing a great role in making affordable medicines available to common people. So let me give you a brief introduction about me and my company. You all know that I head the production and I lead the R&D team, but I'm also a second generation entrepreneur in Edison Pharmaceuticals. It was founded in 1998 by my dad and his brother. Their only mission was to deliver quality medicines at affordable prices. So we are a branded generic company and diversified to over 25 therapeutic classes and over 400 products in 4 dosage forms that are tablets, capsules, liquid, and dry powders. Our vision entails expansion of the company beyond domestic borders into international market while maintaining our patronage towards Indian market and our consumers. So, as the topic of today's webinar is entrepreneurship development, let me quote one of my favorite quotes on entrepreneurship by Tory Burch, a renowned American fashion designer and CCO, that is Chief Creative Officer of a company. She says, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job title. And definitely, it isn't about starting a company. It's about the state of mind. So this line is self-explanatory, but further in the discussion, we will be talking about this state of mind, which enables us to lead a successful path of entrepreneurship. I always say that I'm a big fan of number 3. So most of my questions and answers are in number 3. So before we begin with the details, we need to talk about the 3 biggest mind challenges for a newbie or an employee who's trying to become an entrepreneur. So the 3 biggest mind challenges are: first, they don't know where and when to start. Second, lack of funds. And third, afraid of failure. So let me answer to these mind challenges. First of all, as Mr. Abhay said, there's no particular time or age to start, and it is irrespective of any gender. You can start whenever you feel like in your lifetime. History has seen youngest entrepreneurs like Tilak Mehta, He started Papers and Parcels when he was just 16 years old. Ritesh Agarwal, he founded Oyo Rooms at the age of 18. And successful female entrepreneurs from our field, Mrs. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, she founded Biocon. Mrs. Falguni Nair, she founded Nykaa, and recently it has gone for the IPO, and it was the most subscribed IPO, and many more. Trust me, even if you have done nothing till your 30s, you will still be young. There is no time to start. Okay. And there's one more example I'm going to give. What Mr. Abhay sir said, that McDonald's was started by Raymond McDonald's at the age of 52 and KFC at the age of 62 by Harland Sanders, and which are now currently first and second largest restaurant chain in the world, respectively. And talking about funds, somebody asked in the question, sir, what are the funds? How do we get the funds? So the simple answer to that question is start saving at young age. For example, if you enter a 4-year course, you make a habit of saving 1,000 rupees every month. That comes to 12,000 per year and 48,000 for 4 years. Similarly, if you are second year students, let's say you save for 1,400 rupees per month, and if you're a third year student, you start saving up to 2,000 per month. So total comes to 48,000 in a span of 4 years. And just think about it, you already got a head start by saving time, and you didn't have to go to anybody to raise the money. And now add the same amount of money to what you have saved, that is 48,000, and you have almost 1 lakh rupees. You can go to any good manufacturer and get your first product made. It is that easy. Okay. Third point, afraid of failure. Many of us are afraid of failure, but I say keep trying. It is not the end of the world. Let me give you my example. I started working on a project. It was an antacid generally. You have heard about the antacid, which is called Gelusil by Pfizer. So we developed the same, we used to make that formula, but there was some problem in the stability. So there was cake formation in that particular product. So I came up with a formula. It was stable for a few months, and it turned out like a curd-like structure with pungent smell. So we had to go for product recall. It was a little discouraging at that time, and I gave it a second shot after a few setbacks. Obviously, when you're working with your dad and his brother, obviously you tend to make right decision. You're fearful that you're going to break their trust or something. So it was a little discouraging, but again I went for it and I failed again. And I failed again in stabilizing the color. It faded over time. So everyone told me to give up the formula. I was very upset. I had many sleepless nights, but again I took upon this challenge. So currently, that product is our USP and it is our best-selling product. And I'll tell you, we have failed so many times. We have learned so much from them, but we grew exponentially after doing mistakes. And obviously after failing miserably at them. So over a period of 2 years, we have made over 40 formulations, and our success rate has been 90 when we have sent them out for commercial. We have sold them commercially. So that brought us 25% more revenue to our existing revenue. So it's all about your mindset. And further, I can make it simple to you by saying that there are three major differences between an entrepreneur and a businessman, which you need to know. That are you heading towards entrepreneurship or are you going towards business? So three major differences between an entrepreneur and a businessman is: entrepreneur is a person who starts an enterprise or a venture with a new idea or concept. Obviously, the market is niche for that. You don't have much of competition. Okay, so it's not about the margins. When coming to a businessman, it means setting up a business on pre-existing idea or by offering products and services to the customer. Obviously, there's a lot of competition in the market, so you might have to adjust your margins. So in this market, second difference is you tend to become a market player because the thing is already available in the market. But in the case of entrepreneurship, you tend to become a market leader. Third is the goal of entrepreneur is public driven. But in the case of businessman, it's more or less the profits. But the end note is later in life, every entrepreneur becomes a businessman once he or she is successful. Okay. So, three big questions you need to answer if you're planning to take upon entrepreneurship. Okay. First is, what problem are you trying to solve? Are really people facing that problem that needs a solution? Second, do you have time or resources? If you're a full time employee somewhere or a student, can you manage what you have started and taken up? Third, do you possess certain skills to succeed? In the days of modern era, you need to have skills like graphic designing, Photoshop skills, Microsoft Office, and particularly MS Excel. It has always been in demand. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you three fundamentals, okay, in the form of MRP. As I've told you, I'm a big fan of number three. So, three M's, three R's, and three P's you need to care about if you are on a path of entrepreneurship. Okay. First is mentor. A mentor is the first person which you look up to. You really need to follow that person by heart. You need to read about them and adopt good habits about them. Okay. There's so many successful entrepreneurs out there, and they might not be from your country. For example, Elon Musk, that is the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla Motors. Warren Buffett, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's becoming very popular these days. He's a great investor. Richard Branson, and now coming back to our country, we have Ankur Warikoo, Ranveer Alavadia, Dr. Vivek Bindra. So you can also get in touch with them by writing to them. So it's not that difficult now these days to connect to your mentors. You have internet, you can reach out to them. It's that easy. Second M, you want to think about is your mindset. You need to have an optimistic approach and dodge determination. You need to be very strong-hearted for it. You need to learn from your failures and like just don't dwell on them. Move forward. If even if you fail, it's okay to fail. Okay. Third M is market. You need to work on the market size. Like how big is the market? Is the market niche? And are you having enough customers for this particular thing? The problem you are going to solve for the market. So, and is really market demanding that from you? Okay, you need to study the audience and you might focus on tier one, tier two, or tier three cities, depending upon the problem. Okay, so the three M's I have told you the mentor, mindset, and the market. Okay, you really need to focus on these. And trust me, the only M you should not focus on is money because eventually you will make loads of money and it will be result of your side hustle. Okay, you need not to think about money. So many people tend to talk about unicorns. Yes, I know, I'm very well aware of unicorns. So last year there were 43 unicorns in India, and from 2019 to 2021, if I'm not wrong, Delhi had 4,500 startups. Bangalore had 2,600 startups, and followed by Mumbai, that was around 1,700 startups. So our main goal should be startups, not the unicorns. We should not run after their evaluation or about their money. We should really focus on our goals and what we are passionate about. Okay. So this way we have covered the M of MRPs. The three M's are covered. Now let's come to the three R's, which are important. First R is reading. Okay. Second is resourcefulness. And third being, what is your risk-taking capacity? Okay. Reading books related to personal health is a must and about your mental well-being. Let's keep autobiographies and biographies on a second place because your health is very important when you are on a path of entrepreneurship. Okay. And you should read around 4 books per year, but they should really be related to what you plan on doing. You might do much more reading, but at least you should dedicate 4 books related to your goal. Okay, and you should make a proper use of that information. Second, resourcefulness. You need to know what's happening around you. You need to stay very updated about what's trending and stay close to the knowledge people. And it's okay to surround people which you don't like but are very knowledgeable, okay, because it helps you to get the vision of what other people thinks about what's happening around the world, okay. And third is, please increase your risk taking appetite, do more mistakes, learn from them, don't dwell on them. It's okay to take some risk, okay. So we are done with M, we are done with R. Now focus on P. So three P's, which are the most important P's, which we need to focus on. Okay. First is patience. You need to be very patient. It will take some time. Okay. It is always said the most powerful warriors are patience and time. Rome was not built in a day. And I can tell you, the Tata Group is almost 154 years. It was like built ago, founded 154 years ago. Same for Dower India. It was like it was founded 136 years ago. So good things take time. Everybody commends Tata Group, and I think most of the ventures in India, Tata Group is playing a role indirectly or directly in like they're playing roles directly or indirectly in them. So it matters. You need to be patient about it. Second, passion. Passion drives you. I'm telling you, money is never the goal. Passion is the goal. If you follow your passion, it will lead to happiness. The end goal will encourage you, and you will keep planning to do it again and again, even if you fail. So being passionate, it will make you love the process. Okay. And third is people. The people here I'm talking about is the team which you are gonna make on your path. You alone cannot do anything about it. You need a proper team, and you need to keep them together. Okay. Uh, every person in the team plays an important role, and you can never reach your goals without proper team. Okay. I have to be brutally honest about it, and I have to tell you this that uh, I have a good team. I have a team which consists of people who have 30 years plus of experience. Definitely, they do not tend to stay that energetic when they were in their early 20s and 30s, but their experience counts a lot, and you can't lose them. That is why the most experienced person get the most salary, and your business cannot survive without them. Okay, and coming after these MRP, covering these MRP, the three M's, the three R's, the three P's. So, from my experience, my only tip to young entrepreneurs is you have to take care of these three H, which are very important. Which out of which one was where I lacked and I had to pay a lot. So that is health. Health is the real wealth, and in the process of learning something, in the process of doing something, you can't.
Sir, you have a PPT?
Uh, no, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Okay. Is it hard to understand if the people
No. Just I was just the one slide.
Okay,
No
okay,
problem.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Actually, the presentation is very small. I just wanted to make the points clear that they're very short, they're very small, so that you can easily memorize them. Okay. So this H3 model is very important. For example, health. Health is real wealth. So you need to exercise daily. You need to take breaks. You need to spend time with your family. So second is hard work. You always need to give 100% to what you're doing, and you need to be hungry, and you have to have one mantra, that is learn, learn, learn. Okay. Third is humble. Even if you are a successful entrepreneur, you have done a lot of things in the past years, you have become successful, you need to stay grounded, you need to be humble. So this is the main thing we need to follow. And I would like to conclude by saying that you need to be a change and be a part of this hustle culture, not the hype culture. So you need to take your time and do what you feel is right in your heart. Go by your instincts and not what others are doing. Okay. Thank you so much. Any questions? Because most of the points were already covered by Abhay sir, and he made very relevant and good points. He was able to guide everybody. So, any questions apart from those questions?
Thank you, Karthik sir. That was really inspiring and informative. I'm sure our audience will take away a lot from this. I request everyone, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box.
I think Dr. Bambulkar is there, our past president of IPA, and who was with Johnson and Johnson. So you can highlight some your experience or some questions or for new budding pharmacist.
Yeah, I'm in not in the right room here, so there will be noise. So suddenly we will share sometime, some other time. Thanks a lot, Anand.
Student, please ask questions. Young, experienced people is there. Please ask. This is a big opportunity you are getting. And this is something different. It's not pharmaceutics and pharmacognosy, medicinal chemistry. This entrepreneur is a very big branch. Please ask questions. Humble request, please.
Okay, so first question I got from Arvind Nader. That sir, how can we will decide in which business we do? Okay, it totally depends upon your mindset and what you are passionate about. Nobody is going to tell you that what business you can do. It depends upon your upbringing. It depends upon what you are passionate about. It is all about your interest. For example, I come from pharma background, but I do a lot of reading about fintech companies. I read a lot of about unicorns, like from which cities they belong to and where they're venturing in, where they're doing the investment. Like for Byju's have they have recently did eighth investment in just a year. So this thing makes me curious. How can we do the business? Sir, how can we deal with early failures and disheartening response from clients? Okay. First of all, it's okay to have early failures. Every business goes through early failures. It's okay. And disheartening response from clients. Disheartening response from clients. Okay. If you are on YouTube, you follow many young YouTubers like for Beer Biceps, for say Mumbai Ka Nikhil. There's so many out there, and they always they talk so negative about your life. So it's okay. Let them talk about your life. It's okay. Don't be disheartened about it. Okay. Sir, can you elaborate more on the field you are currently working and experience in that field? Okay, I am working as a production head in Edison Pharmaceuticals, and I head the R&D over there. And we majorly work on 4 dosage forms, that is tablet, capsule, syrups, and dry powders. And my experience in that field is obviously it's very tiring. There have been many sleepless nights, but it's okay. In the end, it's all worth it if you are putting your mind and soul to it. You are going to ultimately succeed. And even if you are 50% successful at what you're doing, trust me, it was worth the shot. Abhay Arolkar, sir, can you please repeat the 3 M's, the 3 P's, and 3 H? Okay. So the 3 M's are your mindset, the mentor, and the market. First is mentor. Mentor is who you follow. Your mindset that needs to be always positive, optimistic when you're doing something. And third is the market. The market where you're gonna work in future. And wait, Tanvi. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, so the 3 P's, that is the patience, the people you are going to work with, The three H, the most important is three H, which we need to focus on. That is the health. The health is very important. Okay, the hard work, the continuous efforts, and to be humble when you're successful. These are the three H you need to focus upon. What do you think the giant conglomerates like Tata and Reliance have entered pharma retail sectors and are also infusing large amount of their cash and have more funds than the startups and are focusing on mom and pop stores, e-retails. So what do you feel startups would survive this? Definitely. Definitely the startups are going to survive. But if we are going for the existing businesses, if they're working at micro and small scales, I don't see a good future for them because daily the new compliances are coming from the government and it's hard to keep the track. And I think the existing enterprises might be replaced by startups, which are going to be done by young entrepreneurs. And sir, how can someone gain credibility without a formal education like MBA? Okay, you need not to have an MBA. Sorry about that. I'm against this idea of having an MBA. Okay, you really need to have basic business sense to run the business. Okay, MBA is a plus one, but in the world of digital media, you have YouTube these days. You can learn a lot of things from YouTube, and trust me, you have these days you have 2 month, 3 month courses on like for Coursera. You have Coursera. You can learn so many things over there. So you need not to have like just don't quote me on that you don't need to have the degree like or the people who have done degree I have done something wrong in their life, but it's like you need not to have an MBA degree to be successful in the field of marketing or to to do a startup. It's not a necessity. You need to have basic knowledge and information about what you're trying to do. That's it. Any other question?
So there is, I guess, one more question.
Okay.
What challenges did you have to overcome the beginning of your journey?
Okay. First of all, I work with my dad. Okay. I used to sit with them. I used to sit across him, and trust me, it's not easy working with your dad. Even if you're starting on something new, you need to convince them that dad, I really want to start this. Trust me, we have invested lakhs of money for my projects, the 40 formulations which we have developed over 2 years, and it is not easy to convince your parents that you are capable enough, that you have gained that experience that you will be able to take over the charge from here and you lead the team. And secondly, if you fail at it, you don't want to face your family or the people you work with that you have tremendously failed, but you have this entrepreneurship spirit, so you have to keep going and have to keep convincing them that the horse you're betting upon is right and he's going to take you miles away. uh, so we're going to lead a good life.
So lastly, as the tech industry is rising, can they affect jobs in pharmaceutical industries too?
No. Jobs, as tech industry is rising, we have much more scope. Okay, when you go as tech industry is rising, more consultancies are coming, and the R&D which we could do, we have to do in our own facility can be done outside. It can be outsourced, and due to that, our investment is has reduced a lot, and we just pay them lesser money, get the work done, and we don't need to do that much hiring. So, what you are asking is the opposite. The jobs in pharmaceutical industry is increasing due to the rise in tech industry. It is working in our favor, not against us. Sir, what are your thoughts on digitalization of every possible thing? Does it affect the human employment, impact positively on survival? Yes, sadly, yes, because as one MG has come up, definitely the work of many retailers have reduced. The chemist, the distributors, what these e-pharmacy models they do is they directly get the medicines from the manufacturer at a cheaper price, and they are trying to break down this cycle of wholesaler retailer thing. They are trying to break it down. So is it really reliable on long term? Sorry. Does it affect the human employment? Yes. Impact positively on survival in a negative way. Is it really reliable on long term? I didn't get this. Is it really reliable on long term? What is really reliable?
So the digitalization.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. We have internet, and till the internet is there, yes, you can really rely on them for a long period. So there's nothing to worry about. And in customers' favor, definitely it's working. As we are getting cheaper medicines, discounted medicines, so it is quite working in our favor as a consumer. Uh, Sir, if we have to start our own manufacturing company, so what we should do? Oh, okay. Uh, it is not an easy task. A lot of funding is required. Okay, a lot of funding is required. A lot of approvals need to be. You need to get many approvals from the government, from your department, and after you're done with, you need to have proper team, and you need to have sufficient capital to get the raw material API to give it to market, and late payment terms. I think it's a big thing. It's not that easy to start a manufacturing company. And honestly, the city I am in, Amritsar, the last pharmaceutical company which opened up was in 2009, and we have 40 plus units over here. But it is not that easy to open up a pharmaceutical company, even if it is at micro scale. Because of the new compliances, GMP compliances, CGMP, it's not very easy to open up a company. But if you really are interested in pharmaceutics, you can get your products made from that company by making small investments and learning the market. Then you might raise a good amount of capital and go into opening up your own manufacturing company. Gaurav, as AI and robotics are outsourcing the large scale of workers, as it drastically decreases the cost of manufacturing, so what do you think would be the future of workers? Uh, okay, when we're talking about India, okay, AI is playing a good role, but I don't think every company has automation. They haven't gone into automation. They are still working manually, or they have semi-automatic machines. And you know what? Many of the large companies, for say Cipla, Intas, Glenmark, so they get their contract manufacturing from micro or small industries, and they don't go for automation because to maintain automatic machines, it requires a lot of money, and technical expertise is missing over here. So I don't think it is going to impact the micro small scale that much. But in the big companies, definitely, I don't see many hirings of workers or technical person over there.
I think those are the questions from the chat box. Okay. So thank you, Karthik sir. The occasion of Entrepreneurship Day was made more special by a valuable contribution.
I've got one more question over here.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, what are your expected future on Johnson & Johnson future in the world, as they are facing huge lawsuits regarding their powders? Okay, sorry, I can't answer to that question. Okay, because me being we also have a company, so I don't think I have any right to talk about any other pharma company are related to their lawsuits. Sorry. Sir, after completing B Farm, if we have to start our own business, so in which field should we go? Okay. The most easiest one, and to make a lot of money, the money here I'm using is because you need, after you make a lot of money, you can start your own business. So what you can do is you can go for the marketing team of a big company, and You can have tie-ups with many of the doctors and hospitals over there, and there are a lot of commissions out there. Like you get the money from company as well, and you make money from the commissions as well. So you'll be able to raise a lot of money from that thing, and eventually you can start your own project, or you can start up. You can go for any startup. But in the field of pharmacy, I think marketing field should be considered first. And I have many friends who have made a lot of money, and now they have started their own thing. Not particularly the company, but they have started their small kits and bits somewhere, and they are making a lot of money out of that.
I think
Yes,
we are done
that's
with
it.
the
I think
questions.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. With this, we have come to the end of this remarkable session. Thank you, Arjun sir, Abhay sir, and Karthik sir for sharing your insights on the notion of entrepreneurship. Now, I call upon Mr. Anish Pant, the Pharmacy Education Officer, IPMSB for the year 21-22 to present the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It brings me immense pleasure and honor to be giving the vote of thanks today. On the behalf of the entire IPMSBSF team, I would like to thank our speaker, Mr. Arjun Deshpande, for his valuable insights, Mr. Abhay Arolkar for his crucial inputs on entrepreneurial skills, and Mr. Karthik Kapoor for his amazing experience and expertise. I'm sure your words have inspired all of our participants a lot. I would like to thank Dr. Anand Shedge for his support in the conduction of this illuminating webinar on entrepreneurship development. I would also like to thank Ms. Tanvi and Ms. Isha, our wonderful hosts for today, for guiding us throughout the session. I would also like to thank Mr. Janil and Ms. Samruti for all their technical support, and every IPMSBSF member for making this event successful. Last but certainly not the least, I would like to thank all our participants and viewers who have joined us for this session on Google Meet as well as on YouTube Live. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Anish.
We will be circulating the feedback form, which we request you all to fill. Also, you can follow us on your favorite social media platforms on the activity of Students Forum. Thank you so much and have a good evening.